All right, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to this cinematic explainer. Today, I'm going to break down what is absolutely, without a doubt, the biggest secret hiding right in plain sight in modern cinema history. For years now, we've all just kind of accepted this one specific narrative, right? We all sat in the theater, we watched the light fade from his arc reactor, and we collectively accepted this deeply tragic, yet profoundly fitting end to arguably the greatest character arc we have ever seen on screen. We watched the dust settle on the battlefield. We mourned the man who started it all. But what if I told you that the narrative we were all fed was just a masterful misdirection? What if that definitive, heartbreaking conclusion wasn't actually an ending at all, but rather the quiet, invisible birth of something infinitely more powerful? Today, we are going to go on a meticulous, frame-by-frame journey, and I promise you, by the end of this, it is going to completely shatter absolutely everything you thought you knew about the climax of the Infinity Saga. So right off the bat, we have to address the burning question that is on literally everyone's mind right now. We have the official confirmation that this monumental, reality-shattering fight is coming to the big screen, Doctor Doom versus Iron Man. I really want you to stop and ponder that for a second. We are looking at an impending collision between a newly established, omnipotent, multiversal threat and our universe's founding hero. But there's this glaring, impossible paradox just sitting right there in the middle of this upcoming epic. How exactly does a deceased hero, a man who sacrificed his physical form on the mud of that battlefield, rise up to fight a brand new god-level villain? I mean, Doctor Doom isn't just another rogue villain in a mechanical suit. The guy is an unprecedented, apocalyptic threat. He has this unmatched mastery of both arcane magic and impossibly advanced science. The power gap between an earthly billionaire and a damaged metal suit and a multiversal god is astronomical. It completely defies logic that Tony Stark could even stand against him. It totally defies the established timeline, unless we've been looking at the timeline completely wrong this whole time. So, here is the massive, paradigm-shifting truth. He never died. He is still alive. I really want to let that sink in for a moment because I know how crazy it sounds, but I am telling you with absolute certainty that Tony Stark did not perish in the ash of that final battle. And listen, I haven't just pulled this theory out of thin air. When I started rewatching the final act, really going frame by frame, trying to look past the sheer overwhelming emotion of the scene, I found the breadcrumbs. The filmmakers deliberately left them for us. The visual evidence is literally right there, woven directly into the fabric of the film itself. The cinematic proof is undeniable, and I am going to show you exactly how to see it. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the ultimate Marvel return. To truly grasp the magnitude of what I'm about to show you, we really have to start by peeling back the layers of Tony Stark's psychology. Over the span of a decade, we watched a man who was driven by sheer, overwhelming anxiety. Think back to where it all started. He flew a nuclear missile through a wormhole, looked out into the terrifying, vast expanse of space, and was fundamentally changed forever. He developed severe PTSD. I mean, remember his haunting vision in Age of Ultron? Seeing the broken bodies of his closest friends scattered on a dead asteroid, with Captain America telling him he could have saved them? That specific trauma forged an eternal quest in his mind. His entire existence became this desperate, obsessive attempt to build a suit of armor around the world. He wasn't just trying to win individual fistfights anymore. He was desperately trying to engineer absolute, permanent peace. By the time we actually reached the desperation of the Infinity War, he was completely consumed by the need to create a universe where there was no war, no pain, no looming alien threat dropping from the sky. It was an obsession that dictated every single choice he made, every suit he built, and every colossal risk he took. Moving right along to Section 2, Parallel Visions of Peace. To understand what Tony actually did when he finally held the ultimate power, we have to look really closely at his greatest adversary, because incredibly, they shared the exact same ultimate goal. Listen to the chilling Endgame dialogue from the Mad Titan himself. Picture the cinematic framing of this exact moment. Thanos is sitting heavily on the jagged ruins of the Avengers compound. He's bloodied, sure, but in his own mind, he is utterly victorious. He looks out at the desperate heroes, and he shifts his entire ideology right then and there. He stops trying to merely balance the universe by wiping out half of it, and he decides to just wipe the whole slate clean. He literally says, "I'm grateful, because now, using the stones you've collected, I will create a universe where people are happy, where there's no war, and where they worship me." This was the desperate, pivotal moment on the battlefield when the villain decided to just hit Control-Alt-Delete and build a new reality from scratch. And this brilliantly illustrates the breathtaking cinematic irony of that entire sequence. Think about it. Tony Stark stood right there, mere feet away in the debris, listening to that exact speech. He was looking directly into the eyes of a genocidal monster, but he was hearing his own deepest, most profound desire spoken out loud. A universe with no war, where people are happy. Tony and Thanos, in this precise moment, are completely revealed as two sides of the same futurist coin. They both carry the crushing burden of knowledge, and they both have this obsessive drive to fix reality. Tony had internalized that exact same desire for absolute peace. The only difference? Tony wanted the peaceful universe, but without the crazy megalomania. He didn't need to be worshipped as a god. He just needed humanity to be permanently safe. And hearing Thanos actually articulate this plan out loud, that planted the seed for Tony's ultimate reality-altering decision just a few minutes later. Which brings us to Section 3, the 4-second snap. Okay, this is where we shift into pure detective mode, because in the absolute final chaotic moments of that legendary battle, there is an incredible, easily missed cinematic discrepancy that changes literally everything. Let's walk through the physical toll and the cosmic mechanics of the Infinity Stones, going frame by frame here. When Thanos executed his original snap in Wakanda, completing his singular, grim task of wiping out half of life, it took exactly 2 seconds for him to fade from the immense cosmic energy surging through his body. Fast forward when the Hulk put on the gauntlet to bring everyone back, which was another singular, incredibly powerful wish, it also took exactly 2 seconds for the surging colors and energy to fully peak and fade out. But watch Tony Stark's final moment carefully. When he snaps his fingers, we see the terrifying visual effects. The raw, rainbow-colored cosmic power surging up his neck, the agonizing burn of mortal flesh trying to contain infinite energy. But the surge, the burn, the fade, it takes an incredibly slow, incredibly painful 4 seconds. So, why did Tony's snap take 4 whole seconds to fade away? I want to let that question hang in the air for a second. I really want you to think about the mechanics of a cosmic wish. In a cinematic production of this massive, unprecedented scale, where every single frame of visual effects is scrutinized, debated, and intentionally crafted over thousands of hours, a 2-second timing discrepancy is absolutely not an editing mistake. No way. It is a hidden, deliberate clue about the cosmic mechanics of the stones themselves and what was actually happening inside Tony's mind at that exact second. You see, the stones, when combined, operate essentially like a massive cosmic circuit board. They process the pure intent of the user. Now, we already know the physical and cosmic toll of making a single universe-altering wish is immense. It was enough to fry a Hulk's arm. But what happens if you don't make one wish, but 2 simultaneous wishes? This dual command is exactly what stretched out Tony's fading time. A human body was never meant to hold one wish, let alone 2. Wish number 1 was immediate: erase Thanos and his army. That processed in the first 2 seconds, and we watched the villains dust away. But while that infinite power was still coursing through his failing mortal body, literally destroying him from the inside out, Tony capitalized on the idea Thanos gave him moments earlier. In those final 2 agonizing seconds, he made wish number 2. Create a better, peaceful universe, a universe without war. He doubled the processing power required by the stones, doubling the time it took to complete the cosmic circuit, as he literally rewrote the fabric of reality to build his armor around an entirely new world. All right, let's look at Section 4, the hologram proof. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this is just a timing theory, it's cool, but where's the solid evidence? Well, the absolute definitive proof isn't found in the chaos and lightning of the battlefield. We actually need to look at the quiet, devastating emotional aftermath back at the cabin. The scene is incredibly somber. The remaining heroes are gathered around, mourning their friend, and we are led to believe that Tony left a pre-recorded holographic message for his family just in case he died. But I want you to analyze the blocking and staging of this emotional final scene like you're the director. At the very end of the message, the hologram of Tony stands up from his chair. He walks slowly forward, he stops, he looks down, and he makes direct, locked-in eye contact with his young daughter, Morgan. He says, "I love you, 3000. Think about the sheer spatial impossibility of that moment. How could a pre-recorded message, filmed days or even weeks prior, in a totally different environment before the time heist even began, know precisely where his daughter would be standing in that living room at that exact second to look her directly in the eyes? The answer is it couldn't. It is physically impossible for a recording to have spatial awareness of a room in the future. So here is the crucial point, the massive twist. This was never a recording. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't a pre-recorded message at all. It was a live feed. Tony Stark was communicating in real time from the peaceful, perfectly crafted universe he successfully created with his second wish. As the stones ravaged his physical body on Earth, he transferred his consciousness, his very essence, into this new reality. He didn't die in the dirt, he ascended. He woke up in the very universe he spent his entire life trying to build. A universe completely free of Thanos, free of alien invasions, a genuine suit of armor around a flawless reality. He was looking through the veil of universes to say a real live goodbye to his daughter.
And now, the final piece, Section 5. Enter Infinity Iron Man.
This brings us right back to the future, to the impending apocalyptic threat that is slowly casting a dark shadow over our entire multiverse. The stage is being meticulously set for Secret Wars, and we really need to understand exactly why the current roster of heroes simply will not be enough to save us this time. The stakes of the coming conflict are insanely dire. Dr. Doom is not just another brilliant tactician, he is a multiversal conqueror. When a villain possesses the ability to rip entire universes apart at the seams, standard superhero strength becomes completely irrelevant. Even our absolute heaviest hitters, characters like Thor with the literal power of a thunder god, or Captain Marvel, pulsing with cosmic energy, they are practically ants compared to a being who can unravel reality with a single thought. The current Avengers rely on traditional might, but traditional might is going to catastrophically fail against Doom's overwhelming, reality-bending supremacy. They will inevitably fall. They don't just need a miracle at this point, they need a god. And that is exactly what they are going to get. Enter Infinity Iron Man. Now, this isn't just Tony Stark showing up in a shiny new upgraded metal suit. No, this is a terrifyingly powerful god-tier evolution of the hero, because Tony didn't just create a new universe, he is the absolute architect of it. Picture a Tony Stark who has had years, completely unconstrained by the physical limitations of his mortal body, to master the infinite power of the 6 stones within a reality he personally authored. He is pure, crystallized intellect paired with limitless cosmic control. His secret multiversal ascension makes him the absolute only entity in the entire multiverse capable of standing toe-to-toe with the apocalyptic might of Dr. Doom. It's the whole shebang. So, I leave you with this. We are hurtling toward an earth-shattering clash. The pieces are already on the board, guys. The mechanics of the stones, the 4-second timing of the snap, the impossible spatial awareness of a father saying a live goodbye to his daughter from across the cosmos. It all paints a crystal clear, brilliant picture of survival and ultimate ascension. When Secret Wars finally arrives and reality itself is collapsing under the sheer weight of Dr. Doom, are the Avengers, and are we, the audience, truly ready for the spectacular, mind-blowing return of a god-tier Tony Stark? Because he has been out there this entire time, quietly building a suit of armor around the multiverse, and he is finally coming back.